still possible to become pregnant at this time. Hi guys, welcome to today's episode, and if you're new here and you're interested in sex related topics, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload such videos every Wednesday at 12 p.m. You can as well follow me on Instagram at wayua__mutuku. I do the same on my Insta stories every Friday. Yeah, so on today's episode, we'll be talking about period sex. I'll be sharing with you guys some of its benefits and side effects as well. Yeah, and tips on having sex during your period and the things you should know about period sex. Period sex is a phrase that is used to describe a sexual activity that happens while at least one of the partner is on their period. It can be for either heterosexual or homosexual relationships. So one of the partners has to be on their periods for it to qualify as period sex. Yeah, so it can involve penetrative sex or oral sex or even masturbation or other sexual activities. Unless it troubles you, there is no reason to avoid sex during your period. Yeah, I know it can be a bit messy, but it's totally safe to have sex during your period. Yeah, and it can have some benefits such as relief from menstrual cramps. What are the benefits of having sex during your period? So the first one will be relief from menstrual cramps. Yeah, orgasms may relieve menstrual cramps, and the keyword here is may. It's not a guarantee. So cramps are a result of your uterus contracting to release its lining, and when you have an orgasm, the muscles of your uterus also contract, then they release, and that release should be able to bring the relief from menstrual cramps. It's just as easy as that. Still under relief from cramps, sex triggers the release of chemicals called endorphins, which make you feel good, and engaging in sexual activity occupies your mind, which may help take off the menstrual discomfort. So if you're having cramps or that menstrual discomfort, try having period sex. Another benefit is that having period sex may make your periods shorter. So yeah, the muscle contractions during an orgasm push out the uterine contents faster, and that could result in shorter periods. So if you're one of the babes that struggle with periods that last up to a week, you can try having period sex. We have natural lubrication, and the blood acts as a natural lubricant. So when you're having period sex, you won't need the artificial lube. Very nice. Period sex might as well relieve menstrual migraines. Many women that have had sex during their period and were experiencing a headache during that time say that it partially or completely relieves their headache. I don't have a clear explanation to that, but I'm assuming it's the endorphins that are released during the sex. Yeah, so if you happen to be one of those that have menstrual migraines, you can try having period sex, and it can partially or completely relieve the headache. Period sex might as well result to an increased sex drive. Your libido changes throughout your menstrual cycle due to the hormonal fluctuations. Yeah, while many women say that their sex drive increases during ovulation, others report feeling more turned on during their period. So when you have sex more often during your period, you'll eventually be one of those that feel more turned on during their period. Now that we're done talking about the benefits of period sex, our next focus will be on the possible side effects of having period sex. Yeah, and the biggest downside to having sex during your period is the mess. Blood can get on you, your partner, or the sheets, especially if you have a heavy flow. So yeah, if you're planning to have period sex, be prepared to get dirty and messy. Aside from dirtying the bed, bleeding may make you feel self-conscious, and the anxiety over making a mess can take some or even all the fun out of sex. So self-consciousness and anxiety. Another worry about having sex during your period is the risk of passing on a STI like HIV and hepatitis. These viruses live in blood, and they can spread through contact with infected menstrual blood. So when you're having period sex, it's wise you have protected period sex. Still, on the downside to having sex during your period, it's good to be aware that period blood can be smelly, and it has a taste that I can't explain because clearly I haven't tested my period blood. Yeah, and the sex positions during period sex are limited due to gravity and stuff. So yeah, that's all on the possible side effects of period sex. So before I proceed to sharing tips on having sex during your period, I want to answer the most asked question concerning period sex, and that is, can you get pregnant during period sex? So concerning the pregnancy, your odds of conceiving are lower during your period, but it's still possible to become pregnant at this time. Consider that sperms can stay alive in your body for up to 5 days. So if you have an irregular cycle and you ovulate soon after your period, it's possible that you'll release an egg while sperms are still in your reproductive tract. So yeah, if you're having period sex, please be safe. Use condoms or any other form of birth control. Just don't assume, especially if you have irregular cycles. So now to the tips. The first one will be open and honest with your partner. Tell them how you feel about having sex during your period and ask them how they feel about it. Communicate, guys. And if either of you is hesitant, talk about the reasons behind the discomfort. Communication will always be the key in everything. So yeah, be open and honest with your partner. Also, if you have a tampon in, remove it before you start fooling around. You don't want to have a tampon stuck in you just because you honestly chose to have period sex. So if you notice signs of having sex afterwards, just remove the tampons to avoid complications. You also want to spread a dark colored towel on the bed to catch any blood leaks, or you can just have sex in the shower or bath to avoid the mess entirely. Make sure you also keep a wet washcloth or wet wipes by the bed to clean up afterwards. I said something about sex positions being limited during period sex. So if your usual sex position is uncomfortable, try something different. You can try spooning and missionary. Those are quite comfortable during period sex. If you remove a tampon right before sex, there is a possibility that it already soaked up some of your natural lubrication and dried you out, so you might need extra lubrication. So the artificial lube will be much needed if you remove a tampon right before sex. I have already mentioned this earlier in the video, but I'll just say it again. So have your partner wear a condom. It will protect against pregnancy and STIs. So lastly, wear a menstrual cup or a female condom to help reduce the amount of blood that might come out during intercourse. But also remember that you can't have penetrative sex with a cup on. So the menstrual cup is only for oral sex, but the female condom is okay with both oral and penetrative sex. So wear a menstrual cup or a female condom to help reduce the amount of blood that might come out. That's it for today's video, and if you're planning to have period sex, at least give your partner a heads up and don't assume that they will be grossed out by your period. Our bodies are messy, and it's about time we embrace that. So thank you for watching today's video, and if you've not watched my other videos, please make sure you do so, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.